Madness. You ready? Yeah. Concentrate. Let's concentrate go, y'all. With me. What you say? We do this day by day. Yeah. We live like this cause we got it, y'all. Every day I pray. Yeah.
So, the second album, as I said, comes out with big hits and stuff. And around that time, that's 98. So we are turning to a point in an R&B where hip hop was becoming a lot more dominant, and it was pushing a lot of R&B to the side. So probably around 2000, 2001, as fans were eagerly expecting the third album. Nothing ever gets officially announced as to what's going on. There's no official statements and stuff. Was it something that you guys started on and then couldn't finish, or?
Well, we Total as a whole, as the original, were not together. I wasn't in the group at that time, and
you went, or
yeah, I wasn't. I had left.
Oh,
and and I don't think it was ever announced because it was always hopes, I feel, with the label that we would work things out, but time just went by and we didn't until the reunion tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it like for you leaving? Because you joined, very young, and that became very much a part of what you were doing. Was there any nerves or fear leaving the comfort of the group?
No, no. I didn't have any fear. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I was just more honestly, I just felt like I needed to move on. You know what I'm saying? I needed to move on. I wasn't afraid to not be a part of all of that. There was other things I wanted to accomplish in my life. I got married.
Oh.
I had kids. I went to school, and it was just. Only thing I wish that we could have just sat down and just talked, because we let all that time pass and it was really over nothing. But that just never happened. I just felt like I was taking the journey I was supposed to go on, and I wasn't gonna ponder on it too much. You know what I'm saying? There will be times where, and of course, I tried, to work whatever the issue was out with the girls and stuff like that. And Puffy wanted us to work it out, but it just wasn't happening at the moment. So I just moved on, and I've lived a good life, and it's been all good.
Yeah. And I guess that's the, I think as fans, we look from the outside and think, why would you just not continue the success? But I guess we don't understand what it's like. The industry, money, people grow up and change. And I guess like any type of relationships, even if you're married, kids come along, it's a very different dynamic. But I guess it could be the same, or if not harder, within the industry. Did you then think about going solo, or did you think, that's it, I've turned my back on the industry, I'll do something completely different?
And I don't feel like it was so much that I turned my back. I felt like, it turned its back on me, you know what I'm saying? And I was just going to move on. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't going to, it was just a lot of stuff going on that I was like, I'm not going down with this ship. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on a good note, and that's just where I was at with it, and
Yeah.
I was okay with it. But as far as I would go in and record and stuff like that, and then I would sit up there and again, like I said, try and rectify things with the girls and be like, we should get back together. We should try and work this out. But they were never in a space at that time where they felt like we could work it out. And I just had to move on with my life.
No, at this time, was Keisha and Pam performing at Total, or they had all split up as well?
I know at one point, when I decided, like, okay, I'm not really gonna fight for this. I'm gonna move on. They were trying to replace me with Meelah from 702.
Okay.
And that didn't work out. And that situation came about because, again, like, we were having some internal issues, and instead of them wanting to work these issues out with me, they were, they went back to Puff and was like, oh, she don't want to be in a group no more, and which wasn't actually the truth. I just wanted certain things to be structured, and we could have just moved on, business as usual. But I talked to Puff and I told him, it's not true that I don't want to do this no more. I just need certain things to be in place in order to be able to do this in a conducive way, where it's conducive for me, mentally, everything. You know what I'm saying? So he said he went back to the girls and they were just like, it can't work out. So at that time, I guess they were, okay, let's see if we can replace Kima. And I remember getting a phone call from Pam and she's like, Kima, we keep, auditioning all these girls, and Puffy like, well, that ain't Kima. She don't look like Kima. She don't sound like Kima. And I'm like, well, Kima's right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to find another Kima if that's what you want to do. I don't know how far along they got on that project without me. I just know it just never, it just never happened.
Okay. So, I mean, what is it's fascinating, and I do wonder, because as a recording artist, when you're not recording music, like the rest of us, you can't then go to the job center. What happens to a recording artist who leaves sort of a group, and or do you then think, okay, maybe I'll go solo? I still have my name and I still have the hits. So, did you have an idea of what you might do at that time back then?
I had time to kind of think about it, and what I did was I went back to school. I got my certification, and I honestly had no problem with like having a really good job. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. I just lived my life like quietly, because a lot of that noise just was not conducive for me. You know what I'm saying? So I went to school and got a job, a good one. And I got my certification. I'm a certified medical coder. I've been working from home for like 18 years. I mean, I really that was one of the things that definitely blessed my life, because the one thing I always knew, and the person I don't let one thing define me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was really no whole bunch of money being made at that time. It was more headaches than anything. You know what I'm saying? And I just did not want to keep dealing with it the way things were going. And if that wasn't going to change, I had no problem stepping to the side and just moving on with my life. So, and that's what I did.
One of the things that is very unique and very commendable about the decision you make is it is hard for most of us have not lived the life that you've lived as a celebrity, being on TV, radio, and stuff. And there's a lot of adrenaline, being everyone knowing you, and you can go to parties and mingle with the rich and famous. And to walk away from that, athletes struggle with that, actors, a lot of people struggle with stepping away from the fame and adulation, regardless of the money. What made it easier? I don't know. Was it easier for you? What made that transition a little bit easier to be able to pull off for you?
I would say that, the support of my husband, my family, because total didn't define Kima. You know what I'm saying? Like, that didn't define who I was or what I was going to wind up being in life. And that's how I always just looked at it. I had a lot of support, and I was able to go back home to my tribe and live my life. That's what I did.
And while you're just doing you're working, did people say, "Hi"?
Yeah, people would like notice me, and that didn't bother me neither, because it's just like, again, the misconceptions. First of all, I'm not one, I'm very humble. I don't put myself on no pedestal. I don't feel like I accomplished anything that no one else can if you just had that same grind and hustle me and Keisha had at that time. So it's just all up to the individuals. Like, so yeah, like, it's not like I was working at McDonald's or something like that. I had a very good job, and people will just be like, well, how can you do easily the same way you do? I got bills I gotta pay, and I like money, and there's a lot of ways to make it. And I wasn't just gonna stifle myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna stifle myself like that. Like, to feel like this is I'm only successful, or I only can be successful if I'm a part of this. No.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.